here in Rockhampton who couldn't come, and both of them were representing our Minister Coralie O'Rourke, the Minister for Disability Services. So we're really pleased that the government is here and supporting what we're trying to do. We also have a number of other people here. We have our project manager, we have the architects who designed these units that you're going to hear about in a minute. We have the builder, Jamie, who's here as well, and I've got some of my board members here. We've also got Department of Community staff that have flown up from Brisbane, so it is great to have everybody here this morning. So we at Multicap are passionate about improving the quality of life of people with a disability. We've been doing this since 1962, when 6 families got together and dared to dream that they could have a better future for their children who had multiple disabilities. We know that the best way of achieving innovative solutions is working together with and listening to the people that we support, their families and carers, the communities that we're part of, and all our other partners. So today we're here to celebrate a really great partnership between Multicap, the state government and the Rockhampton community, and this partnership is actually going to change people's lives. Now, who'd have thought that a digger and a pile of rocks would be a good indication of that? So we're constructing on site here 4 fully accessible 1428 compliant units that will provide long-term accommodation for people with high and complex support needs who are unable to have their needs met in other housing options like social housing or public housing. We have some other local partners here helping us. We've got Sandra and Errol from Thompson Adsit, who are the architects that designed the units, and we've got Jamie from JM Handley Builders, who has the really tough job of turning our plans into reality. And we're difficult customers, aren't we, Jamie? So why is this project so important, and what will this investment by Multicap and the state government achieve? 4 people with disabilities who have high physical and medical supports needs will be able to transition from residential aged care or long-term public housing facilities into long-term accommodation in these amazing new units. This project is part of our vision at Multicap to create a wider range of innovative living arrangements and options that give people more choice and control about where they live. The state government is investing $833,000, thank you, and Multicap is investing $640,000 to finish and build these units and to finish off the access from the road with parking so that the whole site is fully compliant. We've taken great care to ensure that these new living arrangements are affordable and enable people with high needs disabilities to maintain connections with their families and this really important Rockhampton community. Last night we had the great pleasure of having some time with our neighbours around the edge of the site, and they had some amazing stories about building their own homes here many years ago, raising families, teaching in small country schools and surviving cyclones and floods. Most of them have lived here for many years, and we really look forward to continuing to contribute and strengthen this local community in the same way that they have, and these 4 units will help us to do that. So it is my great pleasure now to welcome Brittany Lauger here to formally break the ground. I think we renamed it, and to say a few words, so thank you.
Thanks, Jo, and good morning everyone. Can I start by acknowledging the traditional owners of the land on which we meet today, the Durrumbal people, and pay respects to their elders, past, present and future. I'm pleased to be here today to represent Minister for Disability Services, the Honourable Coralie O'Rourke, and also the Member for Rockhampton, the Honourable Bill Byrne, who both pass on their best wishes for today, and both very apologetic that they can't be here. I'm very proud to be here today to help kick off construction for this new accommodation for people with a disability. We know that people with a disability have faced critical shortage of housing which is appropriate to their needs. This means that many people with a disability have had no choice but to live in residential aged care centres or are unable to be discharged from public health facilities. This is not only a problem in Queensland, there are more than 6,000 people under the age of 65 living in aged care centres across Australia. Many of them are people with a disability. The National Disability Insurance Scheme, the NDIS, will mean that people with a disability have a greater choice and control of their lives. They will have the funds available to meet their reasonable and necessary support needs. I'm really pleased that just recently this month the Minister and Premier announced that an agreement has been reached with the Federal Government regarding the NDIS rollout, and Rockhampton and Central Queensland will start to transition to the NDIS from mid next year. But the reality is that people with a disability will not be able to get the most out of the NDIS if the shortage of housing is not addressed. That's why the Queensland Government is taking action to address this problem. For example, we allocated more than $6.5 million to 6 non-government organisations to create new housing options for more than 30 people with high physical support needs. Multicap is one of the 6 organisations to receive a share of this funding. More than $800,000 in state government funding for this project will go towards the costs of building the 4 one-bedroom units on this site. Each of these units will be fully wheelchair accessible and will have everything you'd expect in a home, including private outdoor terrace areas to take advantage of our region's beautiful climate. The clever use of technology will enable people to have control over their environment, for example, opening doors, controlling window blinds and air conditioning, and calling for assistance when they need it, all at the touch of a button. I'd like to acknowledge Multicap's significant contribution to this project. Joe and your team, it's wonderful to have you here today. The contribution of the land, contributing to the construction and project management, and using their experience in supporting people with a disability in every aspect of the design. This is a wonderful example of what can be achieved through the government's partnership with non-government organisations. Today is really about celebrating partnerships. Multicap are a vital partner of ours, and this site is a wonderful example of our strong working relationship. This site is becoming almost a precinct for disability accommodation now, with 4 units already built here, with funding from the Elderly Parent Carer Innovation Initiative. Multicap secured one-off capital funding of $700,000 to build 4 two-bedroom self-contained units under this initiative, and that initiative provides innovative accommodation options for people with a disability with elderly parents. The Queensland Government is also taking action to support younger people with a disability who are in public health facilities because they need accommodation and disability support. That's why we've developed a joint action plan that brings departments together to help people with a disability transition from public health to community living. This financial year, we've invested $2 million to assist more than 20 people to move out of hospitals and nursing homes. More accommodation choices for people with a disability, particularly high and complex needs. I thank you for the work that you've done and the significant investment that you've made to assist people with a disability here in Rockhampton. Congratulations also to Sandra Parker and the team at Thompson Adset and JM Handley Builders, who have a lot of hard work ahead of them in delivering this project.